Hello, dear friends. Reality surpasses fiction sometimes, because from time to time I get a surprise about the secret scientific research that is coming to light more and more every day. Today, Sunday, it's time to take a break from politics to dedicate it to alternative mystery journalism. But in the end, there is no choice but to quote some news of a current affairs that is still very hot. Opinion article. Space-time manipulation. Could the fabric of reality be engineered? Holographic systems to create fake UFOs. Revealed that the US has a weapon to do this. The Chinese are reportedly working on similar things. Himmler sought the origin of the Aryan race in Spain. Thus the seismic swarm in Grenada herald a tidal wave. Spain and Portugal are not prepared for a tsunami. Alejandro Sanz brings a spiritual guide to his concepts. Pilots record glowing sphere over Pakistan at 10,000 meters. Biblical evidence of the Tabernacle found in the West Bank. Europe catches fire amid violent riots and stolen vaccines. Spain loses 622,000 jobs in 2020, and the unemployment rate rises to more than 16%. Let's start. A space-time modification weapon that is part of a patent for a plasma compression fusion device could make a hydrogen bomb look like a firecracker compared to it, according to one of the US Navy documents called UFO patents obtained by the War Zone through Freedom of Information Act request. All the launches are related to a program called Innovative Naval Science and Engineering, basic and applied research linked to a project called High Energy Electromagnetic Field Generator, containing hundreds of pages of elaborated technical drawings, photographs, and data related to the tests. According to these documents, military scientists spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on experiments related to a nuclear fusion and the electromagnetic fields as part of research into devastating future weapons. The materials even include mention to a space-time modification weapon, a weapon that could make a hydrogen bomb look more like a firecracker by comparison. In quotes. Currently, theoretical physics tell us that manipulating space-time would serve to move us to other remote parts of the cosmos without formally violating the universal velocity limit. But misused, it would cause effects never seen in our history, such as temporal openings and access to other dimensions at the very least. Experiments. The Naval Air Warfare Center's Aircraft Division conducted the experiments, led by Dr. Salvatore Cesar Pais, an aerospace engineer who worked for the Navy. The head of the Navy's Aerospace Research Department said Chinese entities were working on similar technological advances. Each of Dr. Pais' inventions is claimed to be enabled through what he described in the War Zone as the Pais effect, a theoretical physics concept claimed to be enabled through the controlled motion of electrically charged matter from solids to plasma, through accelerated spin and accelerated vibration and the rapid yet smooth acceleration transits. In quotes. This effect, the inventor claims, could lead to incredibly powerful electromagnetic energy fields that can engineer the fabric of our reality at the most fundamental level, leading to incredible revolutions in power and propulsion, quantum communications, energy productions, and even weaponry. This technology has national security significance to lead to ignition power generating by thermonuclear fusion with potential commercial and military application, to ensure national energy dominance. The documents also show that a team of at least 10 technicians and engineers was assigned to design and test an experimental demonstrator, and that testing was underway in September 2019. More than 1,600 hours of work were performed in 2018 and 2019 on the project between design, procurement, fabrication, testing, and assembly of final reports and technical documents. Creation of fake UFOs. In May 2020, the Navy also acknowledged having a holographic system for creating UFOs. It patented the method to create 3D images in the air using plasma. The technology is intended to create a heat source, drawing hostile infrared-guided missiles away from their targets. And there were many who claimed that this advanced system was responsible for a series of UFO sightings reported by Navy pilots in the years 2004, 2014, and 2015. These same patents were endorsed by the head of the Navy's Aerospace Research Enterprise, who cited Chinese advances in similar technologies as one of the reasons the Navy was fielding them. The program was called the High Energy Electromagnetic Field Generator. Dr. Pai's inventions, enabled through the Pai's effect, a theoretical physics concept based on the control motion of electrically charged matter from solid to plasma through accelerated spin and or accelerated vibration and the rapid but smooth and transient acceleration, deceleration, and acceleration again. This effect, Dr. Pai's claims, can lead to the creation of incredibly powerful electromagnetic energy fields and can engineer the fabric of our reality at the most fundamental level, leading to true revolutions in propulsive power, energy, and even weapons productions. UFO patents. Previously reported patents attributed to some craft with alleged UFO-like characteristics include such revolutionary technologies as plasma fusion device and high-frequency gravitational wave generator. Some documents have surfaced specifying a series of experiments that the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division conducted to test the key concept and technologies behind the theories of the so-called UFO patents written by famed Navy aerospace engineer Dr. Salvatore Cesar Pais, or Caesar in English. Several unusual patents assigned to the Navy were published last year, and the unconventional claims found within them were surprising. These patents include puzzling technologies such as high-temperature superconductor, a high-frequency gravitational wave generator, an electromagnetic field generator, resembling a force field and a plasma compression fusion device. Just to name a few, although the innovations sound like science fiction, they seem to describe the theoretical underpinnings of a real, presumably existing spacecraft with UFO-like performance. National security. Among the experiment findings detailed in the new releases is a report from the Science and Technology Alignment and Invasion Reporting Systems in August 2019, suggesting that the spin testing to assess The effect was conducted in late September 2018. It states that while the tests didn't measure any anomalous electromagnetic effects that would satisfy the theory, the researchers assume that the reason for this is that the capacitor confined electrons to its center rather than to the surface, which is necessary for generation of the effect. Internal documents indicate that the Navy believes this technology has national security significance due to potentially leading to the production of thermonuclear fusion ignition energy with commercial and military potential to ensure national energy dominance. As for the cost of the tests, it appears that at least $466,810 was wasted on the project between 2017 and 2019, which is much more than previously thought. The internal documents were leaked months after the Pentagon confirmed the authenticity of a sighting of a tic-tac-shaped craft said to have taken place on November 10, 2004. 13 years later, a radar video of the incident was leaked and made available to the public, prompting widespread media coverage and investigating, resulting in the Pentagon officially releasing the tracking videos. Aryan race in Spain. Himmler searched for the origin of the Aryan race in Spain. The Nazi cultural organization Anerbe, meaning ancestral heritage, didn't spread only through the most continental Europe. Even before the outbreak of the World War II, the group established good relations with Francisco Franco. One example is that Himmler combines that the Spanish Visigoths were direct descendants of the Germanic peoples who populated Germany, wanted to send an expedition of the Anerbe to our country to find the origin of the supposedly pure Aryan race. They intended to carry out excavation in the Canary Islands to study the rituals and religious practices of the natives of the archipelago. Although some difference delayed the trip, in 1939, two German anthropologists arrived to the islands, Eugen Fischer and Isle Schwiedetsky. They sought to analyze the primitive beliefs of the Aryan Guanches. According to Eric Fratini, author of the book Hitler's Scientists, a conscientious historical research of the Society for Research and Teaching of German Ancestral Heritage. Earthquakes in Grenada. A few days ago, renowned seismic researcher Frank Hogeberts warned that high lunar geometry in combination with critical planetary geometry on the 28th and 29th could trigger major seismic activity in the last days of January, and he wasn't wrong. Apparently, Mercury, Earth, Venus, Neptune, and the Sun began to align in the solar system, and the resulting gravitational pull on our planet could cause a major earthquake. This is because the pull of the planet is having a tug-of-war effect on the Earth, causing tension to build up within the tectonic plates, reports the esoteric paranormal world portal. Hugebert's prediction began to be fulfilled on January 26th, when a seismic swarm began in Grenada, Spain, which has not ceased. Worst of all, though this seismic chain could herald a tsunami, Grenada and surrounding areas have registered more than 200 earthquakes with some of them with a magnitude of 3 degrees or more. These tremors are part of the seismic swarm that began on Saturday with an earthquake of 4.4 with epicenter in Santa Fe, which was followed by 3 other consecutive strong tremors. Seismologists at the University of Grenada say that the rupture of small faults in the area releases the tension accumulated by the friction of the Eurasian and African plates. These earthquakes are what is known as a seismic swarm, a succession of tens or hundreds of earthquakes of low or moderate intensity occurring in a given time. Experts say that initially these tremors help to prevent a major earthquake from occurring and couldn't cause tsunamis when they occur on land, but they do not rule it out. What's more, it's only a matter of time before a tsunami hits the coast of Spain and Portugal. In a documentary presented in 2016, several scientists stated that the coast of Spain and Portugal are not prepared for a tsunami. The documentary The Great Wave, directed by Fernando Arroyo, warns that the Gulf of Cadiz, a tourist area, would be particularly affected. Arroyo suggests that the resulting disaster could be a repeat of the Great Lisbon earthquake of 1755. The question is not if there will be another tsunami, but when it will occur, said Begoña Pérez of the Spanish Institute of Oceanography. Although seismologists say that seismic swarm can occur in Grenada is helping to prevent a destructive earthquake, the only reality is that no scientist in the world can say that a catastrophe like the one in 1755 wouldn't happen again. Excuse me. Ball of light over Pakistan. Airline pilots record mysterious glowing sphere over Pakistan. A mysterious object has been recorded by airline pilots flying at an altitude of over 2,000 meters over Pakistan, who claim it wasn't a balloon or an airplane. The incredible images were shared by Pakistani journalist Zain Khan. Pakistan International Airlines pilots saw a UFO over their plane in the skies over Karachi, with a mysterious perspective and a bright light coming out of the center of it. Khan wrote on his Twitter profile, "I have interviewed a Pakistan Air Force officer on the subject." In the video, Pakistan International Airline pilots can be heard trying to find a logical and rational explanation for the mysterious flying object in front of their plane. There was a general sense of confusion among the pilots, and they watched the object were puzzled what they were witnessing. "It's not a balloon, it's not a plane," says one of the pilots. The object, which looks like a circular light, remained motionless in the sky while blinking in the sky. Local media reported that the pilot said the UFO was extremely bright despite the presence of sunlight. Furthermore, he didn't think the mysterious object was a planet and suggested that it could be a space station or even an artificial planet. The pilot, whose identity hasn't been released, also mentioned that there appeared to be a metal ring wrapped around the object, and the bright light coming from its center. The unidentified flying object was spotted over Rahim Yar Khan, a city in Punjab province, state bordering Pakistan. The pilots were operating a commercial flight from Lahore to Karachi. curious or bizarre. Alejandro Sanz takes a spiritual guide to his concepts. One of the secrets that the Spanish singer Alejandro Sanz revealed on the television program El Hormiguero, is that during his tours, I have, in quotes, I have a spiritual guide. I don't leave anything to chance. I want the team to come out spiritually ready, and I want people to know that they are going to see us, and we have to guide absolutely everything. Close quotes. Is her escort an angel or a demon? Will it be similar to Lady Gaga's? Some artists go through life as witches, and not all of them are white wizards. The first flight of the Starship SN8 rocket, which ended up exploding in December several seconds after launch, violated the terms of the Federal Aviation Administration test license. The regulatory authority has now opened an investigation into the accident. The case centers not only on the explosive landing, but also on SpaceX's refusal to abide by the test terms authorized by the Federal Aviation Administration. Tabernacle. Evidence of a biblical writing of the tabernacle found in the West Bank. A team of U.S. archaeologists discovered series of artifacts on the West Bank that point to the site of the tabernacle shrine before it disappeared in 1050 before Christ. The location corresponds to clues given in the Bible. The tabernacle was a mobile sanctuary built by the Israelites under the instructions given by Yahweh to Moses. It included in its interior another temple that housed the Ark of the Covenant. It was wooden chest covered with gold that, according to Jewish tradition, was designed and created by divine command to keep the tablets of the Ten Commandments, among other purposes. It is believed that the tabernacle was eventually destroyed by the Philistines in 1050 before Christ, around the time they stole the Ark of the Covenant from the Israelites. According to the Bible, the temple was located in Shiloh, an ancient city that preceded Jerusalem by 369 years, from the time of the death of the high priest Eli until the theft of the ark. The passages in the canonical book series note that the inner sanctuary, also known as the Sanctum Sanctorum, the Saint of the Saints, means there was a veil supported by 4 poles. This facility was surrounded by an outer courtyard and a wall. The tabernacle also housed a table and a golden altar with incense. Now, a team of U.S. archaeologists has discovered a rectangular area in a bedrock located near Hilltop. This area, known as the Tabernacle Plateau, is large enough to hold the sanctuary courtyard, said Tom Meyer, professor of biblical studies at Shasta Bible College and Graduate School in California. In addition, U.S. archaeologists found small cavities dug at intervals that may have been holes used to support a wooden post of the sanctuary's outer fence. Archaeologists also discovered nearby 3 stone horns that once adorned 3 of the 4 corners of the altar located in the courtyard of the tabernacle. Meyer explained, as quoted by the British newspaper Express, "All this evidence fits together perfectly, like the pieces of an ancient jigsaw puzzle, with their help scientists can pinpoint the exact location where the shrine stood some 3,400 years ago, before it was destroyed. The city of Silo, located in the heart of the biblical hill country, became the first capital of Israel, shortly after the conquest of Canaan around 1400 before Christ. The city was the cultural, religious, and political center of the nation. Therefore, it was here that Israel set up a tabernacle, summarized the professor. Europe is in turmoil. Europe is on fire between violent revolts and stolen vaccines. The European Union advanced 336 million euros through AstraZeneca to finance research and production of 300 million doses of its injectable, plus an extra 100 million. But the pharmaceutical company decided that the European Union is not so important and warned that it would deliver only 40% of what was agreed. Parisians protest against the security law. During the protests against the controversial global security law that took place on January 30 in Paris, there were clashes between demonstrators and police officers. In the course of the demonstration under the slogan Marches for Freedom, the police deployed water cannons to disperse those on the place of the Republic. Around 33,000 people took part in the protests in the capital, according to French authorities. Critics of the law argue that it violates freedom of expression and fear it will hamper any investigation of police brutality. Hundreds take the street of Denmark with torches and flares to protest against restrictions. Hundreds of demonstrators have taken the streets of Denmark on Saturday to protest against restrictions imposed by the government. One of the protests, organized by a group calling itself Men in Black, which opposed to the tough measures, took place last night in the city center of Aarhus, capital of the North Jutland region. We are protesting like everyone else in the countries of Europe, in Australia, and in the US, and so on, all over the world, in quotes. One protester told Reptily. Several videos posted on social media show that many activists showed up at the march with lit torches and flares. Some protesters threw fireworks at the police, who were keeping a close eye on the rally. Spain loses 622,000 jobs in 2020 and the unemployment rate rises to more than 16%. The health crisis dealt a heavy blow to the labor market in Spain during 2020 with the loss of 622,600 jobs, which raised the unemployment rate to more than 16%, according to data published in the Labor Force Survey (IPA) of the National Statistics Institute. All productive sectors registered job losses, although the most pressing was in the services sector, followed by industry. Spain GDP plunged by 11%. The impact of the health crisis on the Spanish economy have been felt after 6 consecutive years of growth. The country gross domestic product falls to 11% in 2020. Trump splits from his impeachment trial lawyers. The former president abruptly parted ways Saturday with the 2 top lawyers working on his defense for his Senate impeachment trial, leaving his legal strategy in disarray. Butch Bowers and Deborah Barbary, 2 South Carolina lawyers, are no longer on the team. Their other lawyers associated with the team, Josh Howard of North Carolina and Johnny Gasser and Greg Harris of South Carolina, also parted ways. The former president reportedly has differences with Bowers over strategy heading into the trial. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.